right, I'd like to call to order the Morgan Grove Public Library Board of Trustees regular meeting, November 8th, 2012, 7 p.m. Could we stand and say the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Paul, if you could call the roll, please.
All right, we'll start with you, Mr. Elders.
Here.
Trustee Berg is here. Trustee Calamack.
Here.
Trustee Goldstein. Here. Trustee Hoffman. Trustee Novick. Here. Trustee Peters.
Here.
All right, approval of the minutes of the board meeting of October 11, 2012.
I move that we approve the minutes of the board meeting for October 11, 2012.
And can I have a second? Second. By Kelly. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Actually, the only one I had was answered right before that.
Okay. So if none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? None, that passes. Approval of minutes, executive session, October 11, 2012.
I move to approve the minutes of the executive session for October 11, 2012.
And a second? Second. Thank you, Kelly. Questions, comments, or concerns? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote on the executive. I got a roll call vote on the executive.
Okay. We'll go backwards to that. We'll go to Trustee Peters.
Yes.
Trustee Novick.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman is absent. Trustee Goldstein.
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Calamack.
Yes.
Trustee Berg, yes. And Trustee Elders.
Yes. Public comments for agenda items tonight? None. President's report, I for one am glad our big election is over. I had the opportunity to attend Tech Fest, and I do have to congratulate everybody involved in that. Great event, well attended. I got a lot of really positive feedback out of it, so good job to all. And also got really great feedback on the new website. So when it popped up on November 1, I got a number of calls saying it was outstanding, so good work there. And with that, let's go to the treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. Well, it got just a touch complicated this month because we had a bit of a minor disaster. Is that correct, Pam?
Minor disaster. That's a big way to.
I think that's an oxymoron.
Okay, it was a big
It's a
problem, but
recoverable
it's in process
disaster.
of being
I'm sorry.
fixed.
We, late Friday, as Blanche was trying to work on the income statement, we realized that we had a number of issues. The first being that we had lost we couldn't recover anything back through March. So we did some investigating and figured out that the March, when we do the backups of the income statement stuff, they get saved in a certain place. And March through July ended up being saved in a different place. So we're able to recover those. Sometime in July, there was a file that was corrupted, and it could have been caused due to the hard drive failing on Blanche's computer. So we have lost all the financial records that were in our business work software back in July. So we had to quickly, Friday afternoon and Monday, Blanche and Carol worked on recreating the income statement based on the paper statements that we had from September and going through all the bills for October. So we think most everything is correct. There are a couple things that were discussed in finance that should be addressed by next month. We do have a new laptop that is going to run just our business work software that we're in the process of getting all that software loaded, and then Blanche and Carol and I will make sure that all of the financial records are recreated.
The upshot is at the moment, we're not able to write regular checks. We are able to write payroll checks. Yes, we have that. And anything that would be an emergency can be manually handled. But as far as the board is concerned, I'd like to draw your attention to one line on the income statement under expenses 4050 retirement. Because of the malfunction, it failed to include an $80,000 payment that we made to one of our retirement carriers this month. So the number that is currently $70,596.09, please add another $80,000 to that, and then it will be correct. So it's $150,596.09. Other than that, your papers are corrected as presented. So, does anybody have any questions at all about the finance report?
I have one question about the check that was written,
Sure,
just what it is.
sure.
It's 110/9/12, October 9/12, WIN, W-I-N, that's insurance.
The health insurance, wellness insurance network.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
There'll be more every month.
That's
Yeah.
fine,
Good.
that's good, look at it, look at it. Any other questions? If there are none, I would like to submit this report with that one correction.
All right, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? And a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Burt, yes. Trustee Kellerman,
Yes.
trustee Goldstein,
Yes.
trustee Novick,
Yes,
trustee Peters,
Yes.
trustee Albert.
Yes.
The treasurer's report is accepted, 6-0.
Committee reports, I don't think we had any meetings this month. So finance, building and grounds and policy, nothing there. Staff reports from our director.
I don't think I have too much to add beyond what was in all of the staff reports. As President Albert said, Tech Fest, I thought also was a big success and had gotten a number of positive comments about it and the website as well. I've received a few email comments about that, so I think that's gratifying for all the staff that worked really hard on getting that up and running. Like I said, I don't. I do have one additional thing. Trustee Peters had brought this, or had asked this question and brought this to my attention the other day, yesterday. On the first page, actually, I'm sorry, on page 2 of the MGPL statistics, she had a question about interlibrary loans requested and filled under special services. And they did, the assumption is that we're requesting so many, and then the filled, we assume, is how many came in to fill those requests. But actually, the filled is just an indication of all of the interlibrary loans that came in that month. So it could have filled previous month's interlibrary loans. Right.
Okay.
So we are looking at a number of the statistics, and so I think a more accurate representation might be even to include a year-to-date. This is a number that we have to report to the state, so that's really, it's an easy way for us to track it. But I can see that it's probably not as meaningful for us to look at that if we're trying to see how many are coming in any given month. So that's where that discrepancy comes in. And I have corrected sheets to give everyone with this next one. And then the other issue was at the bottom under website hits. On your sheet, you have this month that there was 54,296 website hits, which obviously is not 137 a day.
Oh.
The actual website hits is correct. It was just the formula where we were figuring out per day was wrong. So I do have corrected sheets to hand out, and that actually works out to
4,247.
right. But yeah, so the 54,000 approximate, that's the correct number, and it works out to 7.
Now, are those pages, do they hit, is it each page that's hit?
Yeah, is that,
It's not a unique,
That's-
it's not the
It's not-
entire visit.
no, it's going to be page website hits. So
Is there,
depending on-
I think a more meaningful, unless I'm wrong. I think a more meaningful number might be how many
Unique
complete,
visits?
yeah, unique visits there are. Because I might hit 10 or 12 pages.
Right. We are doing a lot more with Google Analytics and that kind of thing to figure out which pages on the site are the most heavily visited, and we're going to be keeping better track of those kinds of things, now that we have that capability. So I am going to hand out the updated statistic sheets. This is pages 1 and 2, if you want to hand that to Dr. Callahan as well. So just so you have the correct number, and that this will be the correct version that's posted on our website as well.
And I just have a question about these requests of Morton Grove Library, 188 requested, filled 86. Do we give regrets on the other one? I mean, is that actually a meaningful number? I mean, obviously somebody goes and looks for it and then either says, yes, we can supply this, or no, we can't supply.
Right, and it might be requests that it might be items we don't loan, it might be checked out, it might be, and so then you go into the system and say, sorry, we can't sense that for whatever reason, either policy or it's checked out or whatever.
So at any given time, it's really a net zero kind of a number because every request is addressed in some way.
Every request is addressed, not every request
Can
is
be
filled.
filled,
Right.
obviously.
Yes, every request is addressed. So I think that was the only other issue, or thing that I wanted to point out with the directors or staff report. Does anyone have any questions?
We're all good? Anything from corporate counsel?
Nothing to report on this one.
All right.
I have a
Which-
question for corporate.
Sure.
We just got this letter addressing the ADA concerns. It was in our packet, I haven't seen it. November 3rd.
I don't have that.
Was that from last year?
Did I get this from last year?
Oh, it was in the packet.
It was?
That was a panic for me.
I don't think it was in this
No.
month's packet.
Somehow
You
I
might
got
have
it
grabbed
on.
last year's packet.
It might have
Is it
been
I
in
just-
the packet,
Uh,
but I
I'd
do
say
have a
it's not
question
in
on
mine.
it anyway.
You're gonna ask me a question about something I wrote a year ago? All right, I'll do my best.
It's in reference to the fact that you say mechanical, plumbing, or electrical systems and normal maintenance are not considered an alteration. I always thought electrical systems is an alteration. You can't add outlets and things like that without going through problems with the
I'd have to go check my notes from when I wrote
ADA.
that.
It's just sitting there,
But
so
I,
didn't mean to spring
if I,
it.
but if I said that there was a reason, I had a backup,
It's my understanding.
I had a backup reason to say
Previously
that.
told by our former attorney.
I'm just telling you that
Okay.
I wrote that based on my review of the regulations.
Read that sentence over quick.
It says here, should be noted that changes to the mechanical, plumbing, or electrical systems and normal maintenance are not considered an alteration, unless the ADA is a no.
Because that's normal, alterations maybe, but the normal maintenance is not.
Maintenance is
If a
different.
switch,
But you
switch
can't
breaks,
add-
you
You
can't,
can't add electrical system,
it almost covers two.
I don't know what they would have to do with the ADA.
a lot. It goes.
Adding a switch.
It's not adding a switch.
If you get.
The village has people that can
Yeah.
address it, we're not
Yeah,
experts.
if you were,
So,
yeah, I know, if you were changing your light fixtures, that's not an ADA.
No, that's not, but if you were adding more electrical system to the building, that is.
Yeah, and I think I said in the letter that it depends on the scope of the project.
No, it's just.
Whether or not- Well, I'm just talking about, yeah, and if you were, if you're replacing your furnace, there's not,
No, that's not, that's just replacement. But electrical system, you can't add to it.
yeah, well, you're talking about you're talking about like light switches or something like that, or what are you
Yes,
talking
sir.
about?
I'm talking about putting more electrical outlets in the building to take care of more of the need for computers and things of that sort.
It doesn't
And we're not
impact
allowed to
Yeah, that
ADA.
wouldn't be an ADA.
It's not
concern.
ADA.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, you know, I'm sure I had a specific reference to the regulations that I was looking at when I wrote that.
We should check.
All right, unfinished business, 9A, carpet, RFP.
Yes, I have asked the board if they would postpone making any decision or taking any action on a carpet replacement until the December board meeting. Given that the bids were not due until October 26th, the emergency closing of the building, budget considerations, I was out sick one day, and we have furnace issues that we're waiting to get a quote on. I reviewed the carpet proposals. They range anywhere from $65,000 to $93,000. Not everyone has given me the breakdown that I had asked for in the bid proposal either, so I want some time to compile those and make sure that the board is comparing apples to apples, and that we also have an idea what funds will be needed for dealing with our furnace issue, which caused the emergency closing. So, so if the board is amenable to that, I would like to ask that they
Can I
postpone.
ask a real quick
Sure.
question on that? Does that include possible abatement?
It does not,
Okay.
so.
I'll put forth the motion to postpone action on carpet replacement until the December board meeting,
Second
except for the sick day. I had 1 day less.
You'll call the roll on that,
I
Paul?
will. All right, the motion is to postpone the action on the carpet replacement until December board meeting. Dr. Kelvin,
Yes.
Trustee Goldstein,
Yes.
Trustee Novick,
Yes.
Trustee Peters,
it? Yes.
Trustee Elders,
Yes.
and Trustee Berg, yes. 6-0, postpone till December.
All right, 2013 budget review.
As the board is aware, I did make the correction to my mistake, and thank you to Trustee Peters for catching that. That's the advantage of having those preliminary budget meetings. With the revised budget that I did drop off to each of your homes, I did make the levy match what we asked for last year, and made a few other minor adjustments which I had outlined in my memo to each of you. And I'm asking the board to approve the budget as I have amended it, which actually, as I said, keeps the levy, no levy increase, and actually has a projected budget less than the 2012 budget. There is a possibility that we would have to use some of the reserves, as you can see at the bottom of that first page of the 2013 budget in the green column. My anticipated use of reserves is about $50,000. That's assuming all of these numbers come in as I projected. Some could be, revenues could come in higher. That happened to us this year. Some expenses could be lower. And so I anticipate obviously no more than that, barring any emergencies. And it still keeps our reserves at 69%, which is well within the recommended minimums.
Which is 60 to 70?
It's usually about 60 to 70%.
Good.
Does anyone have any questions about either the changes that I made or any additional questions about the budget that were not addressed at our meeting last week?
Just a quick formatting question.
Sure.
Is there any, this is telescoped differently? This here is telescoped differently than all the salaries, like all the salaries are combined?
Right.
And
Right.
is that,
This is actually the way that it needs to be presented to the village,
Okay.
which is what then the board actually approves. So that's why it's done this way. So, but those
so
numbers
it's
are all
broken
taken-
out more for us?
Right.
For
Right, the
your
village doesn't need to see
management.
that.
Okay.
The village doesn't need to see that level of detail, so this is actually what the board would need to approve is this document as we presented it here. And then there's a brief letter that needs to go with it.
tax levy at the same level that it was last year for the residents of Monk Grove, which we can still provide an excellent library and stay within the means of the people here, so thank you very much.
I do caution the board, as I did at our meeting regarding this as well, that it will be difficult to maintain that level of service without some kind of increase in the upcoming years. So, but I think this year should certainly be, this will certainly be doable for us.
And the reason that we did keep it flat was because of the large amount of increases that came in the couple of years previous to Mrs. Leffler coming on board, so.
Okay, so with that said, do I have a motion to approve the 2013 budget as presented?
So moved.
Could I have a
I will
second?
second it.
And you will want further questions or comments? If none, we call the roll.
I just wanted to compliment Mrs. Leffler on really an incredible amount of work in a very short period of time, in spite of the fact that she was sick.
There was I was afterwards.
I'd like to get that in.
Oh, okay.
It's so much more fun.
I would also like to commend you for coming in. You've only been on the job for how many months now?
4 months.
Yeah, and to tackle the budget is a big thing, so thank you for doing a job well done.
Thank you.
Keeping within our budget. Some of you people may not like what I'm going to say, but I have to thank previous boards, whom I don't know who they are, for providing us with the cushion that we're able to do this with.
All right.
It does make that easier.
You're a committee of one on that.
I know, but I
No,
know.
I'll.
Oh,
yes,
two.
today.
Too.
I think that, I mean, we don't know how far back it goes. But in any event, I think too that it would behoove us to get together here and here and really go over the budget and see where some fluff might be.
That's what we do every month.
Yeah, okay, keep fluffing
There is not a lot of fluff.
Man,
No, it's
there's-
it's getting de-fluffed,
Yes,
I think regularly from what I can see.
yes. And we do want to make sure that while we're not asking for more than we legitimately need, that we are asking for enough to adequately fund our needs and so that we can provide services to the
We
residents.
serve the community.
And we have to take a pulse on the mood of the entire country in the next year and see where we're going, see how things go.
So with that said, can we call the
Yes,
vote?
and I will call, and since you're A, I will call trustee Elbers first.
Yes.
Trustee Byrd, yes. Trustee Kellerman.
Yes.
Trustee Goldstein.
Yes.
Trustee Novick.
Yes.
Trustee Peters.
Yes.
Okay, we have a 6-0 vote.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Pam. New business, setting of library closings for remainder of 2012 and for 2013.
I will do 2012 first. I'm asking the board to close the library at 5 p.m. on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. There are a number of area libraries that do that, and it has been reported to me that we are absolutely dead here, which does not surprise me. So I'm asking the board to do that, and then also I'm asking the board to officially designate that we will close at 5 p.m. on New Year's Eve, which has been the practice, but apparently has not been actually board approved. So I did want to get board's approval for those two closing dates. So I would think that we might want to have two separate motions and approve the 2012 or not, and then the 2013. So does anyone have any issues with those two things? Okay.
I do not.
I'm gonna call for the next-
So with that said, can I have a motion to approve the calendar for the remainder of 2012 as presented?
So moved.
A second.
I'll second.
You want to call this one, or just roll call it? Roll call,
Okay.
please.
Trustee Byrd, yes. Trustee Kellerman.
Yes.
Trustee Goldstein.
Yes.
Trustee Novick.
Yes.
Trustee Peters.
Yes.
Trustee Elbers.
Yes.
6-0. That's to approve the 2012 closing.
Correct.
The remainder of 2000.
The next set, I can't find it, but is the 2013, oh, here, I've got it, thank you. It's just underneath those other pages. These are days that we are typically closed. Where my previous library, this was actually officially voted on by the board, and I feel that it's, since we're actually saying the library's going to be closed, I believe that's a good practice for us to get into as well. So most of these are days that are legal holidays and that we are closed. There are a few differences. We have traditionally been closed the Sunday before Memorial Day and the Sunday before Labor Day.
Is there a reason for that?
That was a holdover from when we used to be closed during the summer, and those were the 2 weekends on either end.
Do you suggest that we still stay closed for that day? That seems like a kind of useful day to.
Yeah, but that's a big travel date for families, Labor Day Memorial.
It's
There's a lot of people that stay here and want some access to
Yeah.
the library.
I would, the staff like to have that off, I will actually, and that's absolutely true. I would recommend that we stay open on the Sundays before those days. So, I've included them in this, because those are traditionally been what has been done. If the board feels we need to be open as well, we can certainly strike those. I need to know
What is normal Sunday hours?
1 to 5.
So there's no really reducing it.
Right.
Compromise.
And then the other thing that's included on this that has not been in the past is, again, the being closed on the night before Thanksgiving and then New Year's Eve.
I would, not to do with that, I would suggest that the Hanukkah begins at sundown be eliminated.
Sure. Like I said, it's just,
First of all, it changes all over the place,
Right.
and there's so many other
Right.
people living in the community that Christmas is one thing, but.
right.
And
Yeah,
you're
and
gonna
that
tell us
was-
for a Jewish
That
holiday,
was
should be-
more for board information as well, that this particular year, the Hanukkah also.
Wait,
began
they'll
on that.
have a leap year next month. A leap month next year, and that'll push everything back.
Yes.
I'm serious about that.
We can change that.
That's my interpretation.
Is it the board's preference to stay open on those Sundays before Memorial and Labor Day?
Not mine, I'd let the staff have it.
Oh, I'd go along with Pam. So I guess
I
discussion.
feel that,
I think it's a director's decision.
I think if you want to close it, those 2 Sundays, I would say keep it closed.
She wants to keep it open, Paul.
You want to keep it open? Well, I missed your reason for keeping it open.
No,
For the 4 hours.
Because people use it.
People do use this. It is nice for the
We've
staff, and we
traditionally-
have traditionally been closed on those
We've
Sundays.
traditionally been closed on those days, so we really don't know if they use it.
Right.
In this community, that's absolutely
I mean, we
true,
don't
so.
have any facts to say that people are going to swarm the library on those 2 days.
Well, Pam says it was busy in her library.
It was
previously.
busy in my library, but it could be a different thing, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Is
I'm-
that
I'm
really a board
really- I'm
decision or
really-
is that more?
It is
Up
the
to you.
board decision. I mean, I'm fine either way. Like I said, it is nice for the staff. It might be something that we want to consider since there's other things that are going into effect in 2013, keeping those holidays, or keeping those days off for people that might be traveling on those weekends.
So did you change your mind?
I'm open to either one. I am sorry.
With in this room.
I
So I guess we're back to
think-
what is your recommendation?
Okay, I think that for this year, let's continue to be closed on those Sundays before those holidays, and we'll see if we can't get some more solid information about possible use on those days that may impact our decision
I'd agree
for
with
previous,
that.
for subsequent
Yeah.
years.
That's fine.
If we have
You
been
do have-
traditionally closed before, then people will know that we were closed. So
There's no expectation that we're gonna be open.
there's no expectation that we're gonna be
Well,
open. So-
notices of our hours do go out in Books and Beyond and so forth.
Yeah.
So they would know.
Yeah,
Right, and they know ahead
Yeah.
of time, so it's not like we do this and the advantage of setting the calendar early is that those are posted all year round then, so there's no surprises for people either, so. So then removing the Hanukkah, the mention of Hanukkah just because of that changing, then the board is okay with the schedule. I mean, is that what we've agreed on then?
I would
I move to
keep
want a
this
motion.
for the, for 2013, and then November next year, we'll take a
Absolutely.
look at
Yeah.
the following. All right,
I'd like to make a motion to approve our 2013 holiday closings calendar as printed.
Except with the
Except for
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah,
Except-
we're Hanukkah.
Sorry, guys.
That's fair. There's other holidays too.
There's so many others. you
And like I
can
said, this
do.
was
Winter
more,
weather.
right, and this
Christmas
was
is a
more
national
for
holiday.
informational purposes, just that there were other holidays that may impact how busy we may or may not be that way. That was the only reason I had
But
included that.
Hanukkah's not gonna affect you either, it's a very
No.
tertiary holiday.
I second
Well,
that
I
motion.
know what that means, but it's
Well,
nice.
it's third level.
Third level.
It's-
It's not a big, it's only
She
a big
knows.
deal because
I
kids
know,
want.
yeah, this stuff I do know.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I did
It's
sometimes.
about as important as the Cubs playing in
It's an
September.
8-day holiday.
so,
It got 8 days to celebrate, one day, big deal.
did we get a second out of
I
this?
did.
We did a second for
Second.
Peter.
Second, okay, all right.
And if there are no further discussions, can you call the
I
vote
shall
on
call
this?
the roll. Trustee Peters.
Yes.
Trustee Novick.
Yes.
Trustee Goldstein. Trustee Kellerman.
Yes.
Trustee Berg. Trustee Elders.
Yes.
We have a 6-0. To keep,
Good.
to maintain this as is for
All
this,
right.
for this covenant.
Communications this month, I'm not aware of any, so we'll move on to public comments for non-agenda items.
Just a quick comment, point of order. You have your discussions after you make a motion in a second. It's hard to follow what's going on in the meeting. So if you guys are actually following Robert's Rules of Order, you put a motion on the floor, you make a second, and then you talk. I mean, you're talking, and then a motion comes, and then there's no discussion. It's very hard to follow. From a journalistic point of view as well. So,
Point noted.
Thank
just
you.
letting you guys know.
Thank you,
Very,
Mr.
very
Roberts.
This is a revised version of
Yes.
Robert's.
All right, Pam, any reason to go into
It's
executive
hard to
session?
follow what's going on.
There is no executive session tonight, so with that said, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second, no objection, we are adjourned.
Yeah?